We will enter under the data binding. Basic folder, many files we created, we saw that basic structure. Data binding says when you are going to communicate from HTML to JavaScript, JavaScript to HTML, to communicate using multiple way to send the data, receive the data, multiple type of data we have to send, multiple form of data we have to send. So in that way, data binding point will be important to understand. In that first point will be, what is the events? On what basis JavaScript will communicate with HTML and HTML will communicate with the JavaScript? When it will communicate? Because HTML is interacting with the browser directly. JavaScript will be the second step. Directly JavaScript is not going to communicate with the browser. Yes, it is a part of browser only. JavaScript is inside embedded in your browser itself, but when it will execute, that is the question. So interaction will happen from the user side. User demand will come, then it will execute. When the user demand will come, then it will execute. So that point is going to call as a event. We have few other things to understand. Type of pop-up window, alert, confirm, prompt. After getting idea on this, we'll enter under the this one events. We'll understand the basic structure, how to call the event, what will be the small differences. Then after finishing this part, we will come under the this inner text, inner HTML dot hello. In HTML, two type of tag we have, input and output. So when we are dealing with the input tag, how JavaScript will communicate? Or JavaScript communicate with the input tag using which property and how? JavaScript communicate with the output tag, how, using which property? Okay. So those things will get idea. Again, array will come in picture. Then method will come. So you will create the today files under this folder. Today files will create under the folder called data binding. Under the data binding folder, we'll create the today files. So first you create a file for this 3 point, that is called type of pop-up window, alert, confirm and prompt. It will be helping us for the further programming. According to need, we can use it, but we'll get idea on this. Create a file pop-up window.html in data binding folder. Pop-up window.html. Pop-up window.html. Now let's write inside HTML start and head next under the head script. Then you will follow the body tag. Under body tag, we'll write one h1 type of pop-up window. The one you can write. First to keep a button here, and in that to write as a alert. One more button, confirm, and one more button, prompt. Alert, confirm, prompt. Alert, confirm, prompt. Now in JavaScript part, a script is where you can write the JavaScript code. Now you write a function call function 1. Under this function 1, we'll keep here alert, hi, your message sent successfully. Hi, your message sent successfully. Next, after this function, whenever you will call, this message will come. Hi, your message sent successfully. So it is conforming to user, saying like you are trying to do a particular task and that happens successfully, or any kind of message that we want to display to the user via pop-up window, we can use this alert. It will have one button, okay. It will have one button. One button will be there called okay. Now this function we require to call below. On click, function 1. On click, function 1. As soon as click will happen on this button. So on click is an event that we have not written still anywhere, but just you write in this example. Next example is the event itself. So on click equal to, it is going to call a function call 1. Inside the function 1, you are printing call as a hi, your message sent successfully. Instead of alert, we can use as a console also. In console also it will display, but the user cannot go to the console. User cannot go to the browser. User is not technical person. We want to display in some meaningful message. So when user interaction will happen to this button, click, user will click through the touchpad or through mouse or through any medium on this button, then one event will fire. That event will be called as a on click, and during that time the request will go from HTML to JavaScript, and this function will call, and function will say hi, particular task is done successfully. Now let me come to the browser once. You can run this HTML file directly, and you will click on this button. It's a higher message sent successfully. So it's a kind of confirmation message for user. User will understand, yes, I was trying to do this, and the particular task is done successfully. The particular task is done successfully. So, okay, right? One button called okay. That is called as a alert. It's called as a alert. Write the next function. So what we are going to do using alert, it used to give confirmation message to user. It used to give confirmation message to user. Next, write another function, function 2, to implement the confirm. Function 2 function 2, inside the function 2 will write call confirm. Are you sure? Something like this. So where you can use this function? This function is going to ask from user two options, okay and cancel. Okay and cancel. If user press OK button, it return true. If user press cancel button, it return false. It return false. OK button will return true. Cancel button will return false. Right? Now, let's call this function on click. On click equal to call the function 2. On click equal to call the function 2. Let us check now. In second button click, what is going to happen? Are you sure? Okay and cancel. If you press OK button, it return true. If you press cancel button, it return false. Now see true and false point. Variable a equal to confirm. Variable a equal to confirm. Now we can alert this A, alert the A, and then check. So whatever the action will be taken care by user, either OK, that return true, will be stored under the A variable. A we are alerting here. If user click on cancel, then return false. False will go to the A variable that we are alerting here. Now based on that true and false, we will come to know, yes, user has clicked on OK button. Do this task. User has clicked on cancel button. Do this task. Now, let's check now what is happening. OK button I will press. It return as a true. Cancel button we press. It's return as a false. This true and false, what you are doing as a alert, you can print in console also. Let's write in console. Instead of doing as a alert, console.log. Okay, and make it meaningful message saying like you pressed A. Check now, come to the browser. In browser, you have to do right click and inspect element. In browser, do the right click and select inspect element. Do the right click and select inspect element. Next, after this, click on console here. Console. Now, whatever the message you have printed, that should come here. Okay. Click on this. Okay. It will say, are you sure? Okay. It says you press true. Means okay. Again, cancel. It says you pressed false. Means you press the cancel button. And even you can see this, when I click here, my cursor is blinking. We can write here 5 plus 5. Below you can see addition is coming. Minus 6, minus 4. Correct? So we can write the program also here directly. That will work. But this is not for the customer purpose. User who open the website, they don't know this. They know in the window what is going to come. So this console we are going to use to understand the some logic, to print the some kind of a statement, to find out any errors. Whichever the error will come in your JavaScript, all the error will appear here only in console. So this will be helpful. This will be very useful place to find out the error of your JavaScript. Whenever error come, you do right click, inspect, come to console, go to the console, you will see list of errors. In that error, line number will be written. Which line number you have the error and what is the error. Go to the code, look at the line number, fix and again run, it will fixed. So through console, we have to play to understand the JavaScript errors. Many more things are here. According to time, I'll guide you. Now come. So second button is happening. Go for third function. Third function will say, again, function 2 that confirm you have written. What is the purpose of this? It used to ask user confirmation. It used to ask the confirmation from user. To ask confirmation from user. It used to ask the confirmation from user. Okay, hope done. Third function is right. Function 3. Write a variable a equal to prompt enter your name. Or maybe enter your email ID. Console.log email link, or maybe you write here download link sent to /n plus a. So as soon as we click on third button, we require to call this function. Okay, save now. Alert, worked, confirm, happen. Prompt is saying enter your email ID. We can ask any input from user on a spot. Suppose I'll enter here. Click on OK. It will say download link is sent to particular email ID. /n I are given, so that message will come in the new line. /n if you remove, the message will appear in the same line. Again, let me run. Okay. You can see downloads link sent to this particular. So using prompt, what you are doing, you are able to capture some input from user. If you say cancel, it return null by default. Enter anything and click on cancel. It will not hold your value. It will clear. It will just return as a null. If you enter also and click on cancel, it return as a null. Right. Save now. Let's go for the next. So hope it's work for all. Next file will be type of event. This on click you have written one event. Similar way, how many other types of events we have, that we need to see. Example, basic understanding how it happened. Because the remaining all data bindings are available to implement, pendings are available to implement. Create a file, or first see here. 1 minute. Yes. Okay, so mouse related. Okay, so when we look into the events is like one side you have the user, another side you have the HTML, and next you have JavaScript. Something like this. Event says this is the user. This is your HTML and this is your JavaScript. User HTML and then this is your JavaScript. Definitely user interaction is happening to the browser. Without browser, user cannot deal with HTML. So that part is okay. Next, after that, user interaction happen to the HTML. User interaction to happen to HTML and HTML interaction will happen to browser. Okay. HTML is already executing in the browser here. So let's see. I'll go at this point. I'll make this one as a browser. This become your browser. Now browser browser. Okay. Now JavaScript is here and HTML is here and user is here. How JavaScript will come to know I need to execute now? A certain functionality you have written in JavaScript. JavaScript need to know when to call. JavaScript need to understand when to execute. Okay. 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 So here user interaction happen to browser. Now browser is executing the HTML. So how the JavaScript will come to know when to execute, right? Because a piece of JavaScript code you have written, browser want to know when to execute. So at that point, event will come. Here event will come. I'll write here simple call E. Event will come. Event will come. Now when the user interaction will happen to the browser, user will do some kind of click, user will do double click, user will do something. Whenever user interaction happen to the browser in HTML, at that time, the type of interaction, how the user is interacting. User is doing click, user is doing right click, user is going to do drag and drop, user is going to do double click, right? So that the type of user interaction with the browser will be called as an event in JavaScript. Sometime user will do the click. JavaScript will get the information, oh, click happen, I need to call it. I need to go. Sometime in browser, double click will happen. Type of interaction can be anything, double click happen. When double click happen, at that time, again JavaScript will get information to get call. JavaScript will get call. So here what I'm trying to say is, how I'm interacting with the browser, whether I'm doing the right click or I'm doing the only click or I'm doing double click. What is the type of interaction? Okay. The type of interaction will be called as an event in the term of JavaScript. The type of user interaction, how the user is going to interact with the browser, how the user is going to interact with the UI, that will be called as an event in the term of JavaScript. Suppose if I go to my desktop, or maybe in this folder also, one file is there, popup window.html. This file, if I do the right click and then open, the right click becomes a type of interaction. When I do only double click, that become type of interaction. When I do right click and delete option somewhere, that becomes a type of interaction. So how the user is interacting with the UI, okay, that will be called the event in the term of JavaScript. One example will create, in that we'll write one or two events. Based on that, automatically we'll come to know really I'm interacting through the left click, JavaScript get called. When I'm interacting with the right click, JavaScript got called. So this type of interaction, how we are interacting with the browser, the type of interaction becomes a event. So user will interact with the application using user will interact with the application either through the keyboard, not through the keyboard, you can say, like user will operate the keyboard, then while operating the keyboard, user will be interacting with the application, then event will call. That is called keyboard events here. When the user is operating the application through mouse, operating the system through mouse, so while operating the system through mouse, how he is operating the mouse, how he is interacting, whether through left click or right click, right? So again, first point is what is the event? Then we can see the type of user interaction, how the user is interacting, that will be called as event. Then how many way user can interact? User can interact using the keyboard, user can interact through the mouse, or user can interact with some other way also, right? But measure whenever you operate any website, how you open the website. Either you use the keyboard or use the mouse, correct? Then you will say, I don't use mouse, I use the touchpad. Touchpad is also internal mouse itself, right? So interaction of the user with the UI always happen through the keyboard or mouse. And this type of interaction will be converted into the event in the term of JavaScript. If anyone asks, what is the event? Your answer should be the type of user interaction with the UI will be called as an event under the term of JavaScript. One example will create, then it will get proof. You will create a file called mouseevent.html. Create one file, mouseevent.html. Mouseevent.html will use here HTML. It will come. A script will come. Under the script, write one function. Any name you can give. Write inside. Alert. It is working. Alert. It is working. Now come down. Open the body tag. Close the body tag. H1 JavaScript mouse related events. Okay, now write a button. Single click. On click. Call the same function. On click. Call the same function. Double click also. Call the same function. On DBL. DBL click. So first button will call the function one when single click will happen. Second button will also call the same function, but when double click will happen. So one place user interaction will happen through the single click. Another place the user interaction will happen through the double click. Okay, so this type of user interaction is going to call it a event. And that all are reserved word, it's categorized already. We have to use that word only always. Like click, for click, on click we have to call. For double click, on DBL click we have to call. Let us run it, see how it is. One place, first button, single click is happening, function called. Second place, single click will not happen. Because here the event is different. The user has to interact through the different way. That is called double click. See, calling. Single click, it will not happen because the type of interaction you have written different. You have to do double click. Okay? So that is called type of user interaction. One place user interaction is through the single click. Another place user interaction is through the double click. Okay, hope working. Now come. Next, many events we have. We have another one, mouse down, mouse move, mouse out, on change. Those we can write. Event, let it be same. Just call here on mouse enter. Call enter mouse here. On mouse enter. On mouse enter. Now see how on mouse enter will work. We have a mouse button here. When the mouse will try to enter inside, alert happen. I'll press the keyboard. From the keyboard, I'll press enter. Alert will go. Now my mouse is inside the button area. It's already entered. When I move inside, there is no problem. Anything is happening? No, because event is written on mouse enter. See, mouse went out, it's coming. alert happen. While entering, the event has called. Now, if I move my mouse inside, you can see the mouse is moving inside. There is no such kind of event. No any interaction. Interaction, when it happened first time, when the mouse was entered within the area, that time event got fired. Now, if you are moving the mouse, that is not related to any kind of event. Event is there, but we have not written it. See. Again, mouse will come out, no problem. As soon as the mouse will enter, event will fire. So that is called mouse enter event. We have another one called mouse out. On mouse out. Move mouse out. Move mouse out. Now let's run. On mouse out event is there. How it will work? We can go here. And once you enter inside, event will not happen. Event will not happen. When your mouse will go out, cursor pointer will leave this area, exit the area, like this, event happen. It's called on mouse out. When your cursor is exiting from the area. Right, another one. On mouse move. On mouse move. Mouse move here. It's called on mouse move. Whenever your cursor will change the position within the area, event will fire. Let's see how it will be. Mouse will touch, event happen. Again, whenever the mouse is going to change the position, whenever the cursor will change the position, alert will keep coming. Right? On mouse move. Because whenever I am pressing the OK, my cursor is getting moved. Cursor is getting set. Pointer is moving little. It's a changing little position. Maybe pixel, that anything. But whenever the cursor will change the position, mouse move will happen and then function will keep calling. Then it will say look like useless. Not useless. It's useful only. The one is called on mouse enter. When your mouse will enter under the area. Second one is called on mouse out. When the mouse will leave the area. Third one is called on mouse move. When the mouse will move inside the area, when the mouse will change the position from one location to other location, when the cursor pointer will go, then event will get called. What we have next? We have called On mouse down. So right here, on mouse down, down. That is called left or right click. You will click either left or click right. Click anyone, no problem. Whenever the left or right click will happen, event will fire. On click is only for left click. On click is only for the left click. But on mouse down is for both, for left click also as well as right click also. Something like this. When we do left click, event called. When you do the right click, again event is calling. When you do right click here, only this function will get called. Same mouse you do right click outside, many other option will come. But this option, when you do the right click, it will not come here. See, right click I'm doing, left click as well as right click. Sequence. Now we have next event called on change. On change is something like this. Select open, select close. On change equal to call the function one, option, choose. Mumbai, ne, Chennai. Now let it be. If you run the file and select any option from the drop down, whenever you select the option from the drop down, on change event will fire, and during that on change event, this alert will keep coming always. So let's save the file, run it. Save it. We can see like this. When you change the option from this drop down, alert is calling, event is getting fire on change. Event get fire on change, right? So it is called on change event. On change event. These all are through the mouse events. These all are through mouse. Next, another file will create. In that, we'll see keyboard event. In this, you can create one more example. Like when you are changing this option, every time it's come as it's working. Suppose you selected Pune, alert should come as a Pune. When you select Chennai, alert should come as a Chennai. That will become a function with parameter. So that I'll write another one. Copy this, paste again. After that, call the function 2. Inside the function 2 now, we need to pass the value of current option. You will use the value property here. Value equal to, suppose I given call empty, no value. Here, let me write value equal to 1. You can see in first option, we have given the value equal to nothing. Second option, there is no property called value. Third option, value is 1. And fourth option, even there is no value. Now, if you have used the value property, then which value you given, that will go to database. For example, we have the Pune here. For Pune, what is the value? As a 1. So if a person is selecting call Pune, for him in database, value will store as a 1. But when you look into the Mumbai, value is not there. Now what it will store for this particular user who is selecting Mumbai? So we need to remember, if value property is not there, your text will consider as a value. For example, in Mumbai option, we have not given any value. Now what will be the value of this option? Mumbai itself will be value. So it says, if value property is missing, then your text will consider as a value. If value property is available, then what value you have given, that will consider the value for backend purpose. Now understand through example. Function on change, you are calling the function 2. Inside that, if I write this dot value, this is the right syntax, this dot value. But then you will ask, what is the meaning of this? This will represent the particular option that you are selecting. Like suppose a person is selecting the Mumbai. So Mumbai, this particular option will consider as a this. This represent the current selected option. And value represent their value. Then you will say, I got confused. No problem. Let me remove this for some time. I wrote only value. Now a person is selecting the Pune. So what is the value of Pune? 1. 1 will go to the value property and it will assign to the function 2. If a person is selecting for Chennai, what is the value for that? No value. So Chennai will consider as a value. If a person is selecting the Mumbai, value property is not there. So Mumbai will consider as a value. Now let's write a function 2 and in that see how this is happening. Really it's happening same thing or not. If a value property is missing, the text will consider as a value. If the value properties exist, the value what you are given that will be as a value. So to the function 2, you are passing a parameter as a value. So question is what is this value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 what? So it will be the value of those options that you are selecting. If you are selecting the Pune, value will be 1. If you are selecting Mumbai, value will be as a Mumbai itself since the value property is missing here. So what will be the default value? As a text. You write a function 2 now. Under the function 2, we'll try to receive and we'll see really the what we discuss is coming that way or different way. So come up, write the function 2. Function 2. Inside the function 2, you can see from down you are sending some value. Hold on. I'll change little position of this so that it will be easy to understand. I'll keep in the beginning. Code will be visible both the section. Proper connectivity will happen. Okay. Now you see what we have written. When you are calling the function 2, inside the function 2 you are passing some value. You have to receive that value under any variable. So suppose I given the variable called A. Under A, the value of selected option will come. Under A, the value of selected option will come. Now alert here. You have selected plus A. Comma will not work here now because you are binding in the browser. So at that time, comma will not. Your plus operator will work. So function 2, as soon as you change the option from the drop down, function 2 will call with the value of current option. Whichever the value you are selecting, that a value will come under the function 2. From function 2, it will assign to the A variable. And A variable we are doing as a alert here. Write it, then we'll run once. Okay, check now. right? You can see here. I selected the option called Mumbai. Alert is coming as a Mumbai. When I select the option called Pune, alert is coming as a 1. When we select the option as a Chennai, alert is coming as a Chennai. Now look at here. In the case of huge, alert was empty. But in the case of Mumbai, alert was as a Mumbai itself. In the case of Pune, value as a Pune, alert was Pune itself. In the case of Chennai, alert was as Chennai. That represent which option you select, the value of selected option is getting passed. Which option you select, the value of selected option is getting passed. We can also write here this dot value. That will be the right syntax. This dot value will be the right syntax. Okay, this dot value. So value of selected option, that represent the value of selected option. Which option you are selecting, their value it will get passed. Right? Let's go ahead next. The value what you will give here, it will go to the database. The value what you will go here, it will go to the database. Next event we have, what is the next event? Next event we have, okay, keyboard related. Create the next file. Keyboard event.html. HTML start. Hit again. Script. Follow the body. Now write again H1. Keyword events. Example. Write a function. 1. Inside the function 1, receive a input inside a variable and do console.log the input is plus a. The input is plus a. The input is plus a. Now come down, create a text box. On key press will be the event name. On key press is the event name. Right here, input type equal to text. Input type equal to text. Write here property called value equal to apple. On key press equal to on key press equal to call the function 1, and inside the function 1 pass this dot value, the value of current element, this dot value, the value of current element. We have to check this in console. Save now. We'll run this file. Look into the console. Right click, inspect, go to console, and in console the output will come. But when output will come? As you type any character under the text box. You will follow me. Let's see. Apple is here. I click inside. It says on key press. Whenever we are going to press any key from the keyboard, A to Z, 1 to 10, 1 to 9, less than, greater than something, right? Then the event will get fire. Event is written called on key press. Whenever you press the key. Whenever you press the key, what will happen? On key press event will fire, and it will call the function 1. There it will pass this dot value. We'll go here. Let me write call 1. I'll type call 1. Under the text box is display apple 1, but value is printing only apple. You can see here. Event is on key press. Under the text box, apple was already there. I press 1. I press 1. Then what it displayed? It display only apple. It's not display the 1. It's not display the 1. Now what will happen? I'll press the 2. Then you will see apple 1 will come. I'll press the 3. Then apple 2 will come. So when you are pressing the key, event is getting fire at that time. And when the event is getting fire, it is not taking the current value. It is taking the old value. Now I'll press the 4. 4 will be my current value. Apple 1, 2, 3 is the old value. So when I press the 4, 4 will not process. 4 will be on hold. Only Apple 1, 2, 3 will get processed. Let me press the 4. You can see Apple 1 to 3 is getting processed. So that represent on key press event will not pass your current value. It will pass the old value. On key press event will not pass the current value. It will pass only the old value. Now I'll press the 5. It will say Apple 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll press the 6. It will say Apple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 has not come. Clear? So what is the on key press event? On key press event will fire whenever we press any key from the keyboard, and it will not process the current value. It will process only the old value. Okay, it will process only the old value. It will not process the current value. That is called on key press. Clear? Next, we have some more events. We'll spend time tomorrow. And after understanding the flow of this event, we will come under the data binding part, where you will have event will be there, HTML will be there, JavaScript, what we have learned, that will be there, and some other extra logic will get applied. And it will help us to send our data to JavaScript properly and receive the data from JavaScript properly in different way.